technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jack.
I am Anthony Sie, and a pleasant welcome to this special edition of the Hour of Politics this afternoon here. Welcome, and do us that favor, quickly hit that share button. The topic is highly political. Good minds, stronger minds, better minds are seated to discuss a topic that promises to be politically juicy. Can the JNB presidential train be derailed, or will it have a safe landing as Joseph Boakai being the conductor of this train that is headed to the executive mansion? Or would there be things, are there things that have been dropped in the way of this train that might make the train to be derailed? Those things we will be looking at, and we will assess whether or not those things will be able to derail the train, or whether or not the conductor himself is competent, fit, and in good health to be able to carry this train to the executive mansion. Seated and ready to go is an ardent supporter of Mr. Joseph Yaman Boakai, my good friend Aliu Kamara, joining us from the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Happy Sunday, my friend. It's good to have you. Thank you so very much. Always joining us from the nation's capital, a panelist here at Focus on Liberia program on point is Jimmy Eastman. Jimmy, it's good to have you, friend. How you doing?
Hey, it's nice to be here. Very important elections coming. I think actually we can consider it pivotal.
Thank you, Jimmy.
I'm looking forward to
my good friend. Oh, sorry, Jimmy. And your thought there, please.
No, I'm looking forward to the discussion. That's all.
Thank you so very much. Michael Padmore and I share the great state of Minnesota. Mr. Padmore, it's good to have you, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anthony. Even though I have a greater share, but that's okay.
I agree with that. No debate on that one. Sharing the same state with us is our young brother, Evan Morris. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Sia. And just a little caveat: I've never been on a train before in my entire life, so just to put that out there.
Thank you so very much. But we know you to be a sympathizer of President George Manawia, and Mr. Michael Palmo is a supporter of Mr. Alexander in the Cummings and the CPP. He is a member of the ANC. Also with us is Mr. Anthony Gay, who is also a supporter of the ANC and Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. Mr. Gay, it's good to have you. How you doing? Are you ready? He seems not to be.
Are there many people in there?
Yeah, he seems not to be ready. Let's get to the discussion again. We want to remind you of the topic. Can the JNB presidential train be derailed, or will it have a safe landing with Joseph Boakai as its conductor? Gentlemen, I know you are all ready and seated. There are things we are hearing, and we also know or have the propensity to derail the train, or Joseph Boakai, as a good conductor, maybe will be able to land this train at the executive mansion. One first thing that comes to mind, which is getting steam right now, is Henry Costa jumping off the Joseph Boakai train. So the question is, folks, with Costa jumping off the train and throwing things in the way of the train, are these things storming block? And with these revelations and threats coming from him that he might do more. Starting with you, Jimmy. Costa is talking. He's throwing things in the way of the train. Are those things sufficient? Will those things be able to stop the train from landing safely, or will it derail the train?
Well, let's examine exactly how much, what weight these individuals have. Costa has a platform, a huge platform, that he has used against the government and against anyone that he chooses to disfavor. He doesn't have a constituency per se, but he does have a following. All right. and now that he feels betrayed by old man Boakai, he is not completely going after him, but he has been uttering some statements about him, about the betrayal, but he hasn't yet to really launch the cannons, the big guns. He has yet to take direct aim at him. Should he take direct aim, it might dissuade some voters. But because he has been one time an ally and one time against, people will not exactly what to make of his flippancy, his going from one side to the other. Now, Ben and I party has been dwindling. And just the other day, Ben and I announced that many of his partisans went to Boakai camp, and they were forced to go because of tribal linkage or tribal sentiment to Boakai. So it's even very, very small. We saw how many people voted for him in the last election, and it was not an enormous amount of people. And lastly, Telia Uri, who was Ben and I's daughter, she's also vying for a position, and she was the campaign leader for at one time for Boakai.
Yeah,
and
for
now
the tag team. She was the head of the JNB
after
tag team.
the appointment of Jeremiah Kuhn. Yeah. But after the naming of Jeremiah Kuhn as vice standard bearer to Boakai, she too is disenchanted. She's no longer on that train. I don't know how many votes she has. So in terms of votes, I don't see that many voters leaving Boakai.
And Jimmy, I want you to learn on this.
Costa,
Jimmy, can you hear me?
Chooses to out Boakai, some of the things he went through. Yeah.
Jimmy, since your connection is a little rough, so you were not hearing me. I'm trying to interject. What I want to know, Costa jumping off the train along with his godfather, Benny Nayiri, and also the ALP jumping off. I know some have gone to Boakai. All right. Is that a big takeaway from Joseph Boakai? And can they also be a stumbling block in a way of this rescue train being conducted by Joseph Boakai?
People always call you when you're on this thing. Sorry about that. No, when it comes to votes, no. But what he will say on his platform, if he plans to use it, that may destroy the voters. So as the fact that they left, that's not many votes. But what kind of influence he will try to leverage in these elections, that may be a game changer.
All right, let me come to you, Evan Morris. Can Costa jumping off the rescue train, and if he turns his propaganda against Joseph Boakai, given the proximity he had, secrets that he has known, information he claims he has in his possession, can those things be significant stumbling block to the train landing safely at the executive mansion, or Boakai will be able to navigate through these things because Costa more like compromise himself because he was there, he said all the good things, and now he's trying to, with the Liberian people taking serious or not?
Thank you, Mr. Sia. For me, I will look at it in like, it's like a double whammy, so to speak, in American parlance. You have Costa, who's going to be the propagandist to go against Joseph Boakai, spill all his secrets, go back to the same rhetoric. He's too old. He's a tribalist. He's a walking dead man, and all of that we've seen that playbook. But for me, the thing I want to focus on mostly is the money. It's like a man taking his family, across the country. The kids are going to be in the back enjoying themselves. The wife is going to be sitting in the front seat. But you have to put gas in that car to get you guys to the destination. Who's putting the fuel in the train to get you guys to that, desired destination? You lose Ure, who is a financier who has been a financier for Joseph Boakai, for a lot of his political since 2017, so to speak. You're losing that. We know that Jeremiah Cohn has some money, but he's not going to spend millions upon millions of dollars, alone. You need other people that's going to come in and help finance this whole thing with this train, making sure that the fuel in the train is going to reach to this destination. The people on the train are going to eat, and so forth and so on, so to speak. So for me, people like Tilia, Ure, yes, they don't bring vote to the table in terms of constituents, but they bring money. They bring influence in high places. So Joseph Boakai losing his people is a problem. Now let's look at Prince Johnson, for example. I know we haven't gotten there yet, but just to give the history of Prince Johnson and Bernard Ure, I think that's where this whole thing fell apart, and that's why Costa came hard against Cohn, because during Charles Taylor time, we know that Prince Johnson broke away from Charles Taylor and fought Charles Taylor heavily during the war, and Bernard Ure was the right hand man to Charles Taylor. So these two guys don't get along. They don't see eye to eye, and thereby Boakai picking Cohn was going to be an issue. And that brings into focus his lack of ability to think strategically ahead before he make any major decision. You know that these two people are not going to see head to head. Ure has been supporting you both financially and politically, and then you pick Prince Johnson knowing that these two people are going to be at loggerhead and not foreseeing that this is going to bring issue between the two people. Now you take your main financier out of it. Prince Johnson has political influence in him, no doubt about it. But he's not going to spend his money to finance JNB. No way, no how. So the only person you have who is a bona fide, a political financier is Jeremiah Cohn. And he's not going to finance your campaign from the start to the end. You need other people with heavy money to come in and give you that extra lift to put you to the finish line. And I think losing Ure is more so a damaging blow on the financial side, more so than the political side.
Mr. Morris, let's focus on the things that they are saying now. Things that Costa have said: we pay medical bills, we been responsible for plane ticket. We know Ure talking to Nigeria on a flight the other time. And now here are the things they are saying. Now Ure is saying Boakai is a tribalist. Costa is even raining insults at Boakai indirectly. Teller Ure is saying, hey, the train has lost a sense of direction. I will not be a bondage to somebody's bad choices and decision. These are the things they are saying. Now, you mentioned the issue of the money. I get it. And Taylor also went up to say, all politics is toxic, divisive, and weak. These things they are saying, will Liberian people take them serious? They were on board this train. They didn't have these things to say until they jump off now. Will the Liberian people take them serious?
Look, I'll use this analogy, right? If you meet a new woman, her ex know all the bad things about her. He would tell his friends and he would tell other people all the bad things about that woman. But while you're with that woman, you won't admit it. But once you leave her, you'll say that that the thing people been saying about you, like the same thing, So what these guys are saying are things that we know. Those of us who are in opposition to Joseph Boakai, we know these things. They themselves knew it when they were with him, but they couldn't say it because they were allied at the time. So coming out and saying that Joseph Boakai has tribalistic tendencies, it's nothing new. We all know that. Coming out to say that Joseph Boakai is a user, use people for what he can get out of them, and then he dumps them, we all know that to be a fact. So these people saying these things is not new. The Joseph Boakai people who are there, they know that this is a fact as well. They're not going to say it until they depart from his camp, and then they're going to say, oh, they know that the old man is divisive, the old man is a tribalist, he likes to surround himself with his family member and his tribe man. We all know these things. So it's nothing new. But like I said, Mr. Sia, Joseph Boakai, I hate to say this, I'm a young man, I'm not supposed to be talking like this, but in politics, there's no, quote unquote, pape and small ball. Joseph Boakai is a user. He's a habitual user. He uses people, get what he can get from them, He barely invests any of his personal money into anything. He only uses people for their money, their influence, and once he sees no use in you, he dumps you by the wayside. This is what's going on. And somebody as powerful and influential as Ben Ayure has seen it firsthand. And even Henry Costa, who was played like a fiddle, think he's some kind of political, savant, but has been played. So we see this, and we know who Joseph Boakai is, and we're seeing his past behavior, and we know the future behavior. If he's privileged to get into that mansion, we know what it's going to be. So I will leave it there. Let me give other people the chance to come in, and I'll leave it right there for now.
Mr. Ali Kamara, these were people that were on the rescue train that you are part of, and they were sinking the Kumaya as you do now. And they have turned a blind eye to the things that they said now. The question is, do they have legitimate reason? Is it true that they've been treated unfairly, for which they are saying these things now? And will these things have impact on the train?
I think you know that I'm less than 2 years away from being 50. That means that I don't have a whole lot of time in my favor. But because this
actually do. Go ahead.
But because this is focused on Liberia, the most important social media network, is pretty much it is a matter of must that I come on here to discuss issue. But giving relevance to Henry Costa, look, he's of a vital importance when it comes to Liberian politics. He has his place, but certain things, Anthony, you just can't fight. There are times for everything. Look, when people say, "Oh, Ben and I, blah 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 blah," do you know how many people Joseph Boakai traveled with to the United States these few days? Did Ben and I pay for it? You know how many motorbikes and vehicles have gone for the Unity Party to Liberia? Did Ben and I pay for it? So to just make these vague comments, you need this, without this, he ain't got no money. What do you know? Is it exuberance? Is it euphoria? You're just talking? But let me just say, just to answer your question.
Will your side rather have political allies or enemies? Because they have now become your political foes.
Those are subjective questions. Those are questions that only you who ask the question will answer. Because you think about this. Do you really believe that in politics, everybody have to stay with you? Everybody have to support you? No. DeSantis and Trump were once an ally. Now they can't see each other eye to eye. What we are saying is, whatever is happening, our ears are basically on the pavement, on the ground, and we are listening. And I concur with for some reason you did not understand Mr. Eastman. Mr. Eastman actually broke it down to you in many ways. Who doesn't know Henry Costa? And then you ask the question, would they take Henry Costa seriously? But why should they? The COP gave their support to Joseph Boakai. In fact, they're trying their weak way to get Henry Costa totally out of the COP just because of Joseph Boakai. Over 80% of the ALP is with Joseph Boakai. What is the significance of Ben Ayure alone leaving and him and his party chairman leaving? What is the significance? The voters are the people Joseph Boakai need, not Ben Ayure. The voters of the LP, the ALP, they were Joseph Boakai. So look, we don't want to take anything from Henry Costa, but Henry Costa keeps digging hole for himself. Henry Costa ran in a constituent that had almost 100,000 people living there. He could barely come up with 5,000 voters, at which time he was one of the most powerful people in Liberia. He could not. This woman, you're talking about Telia, could not beat Abu Kili. You know what they call Kili? Kili that cat made against Steve. The man who was noted for stealing. She couldn't beat him, even though the CPP were together in force. She couldn't beat that guy. So what we are saying again, we're trying.
It seems as Boakai has not beaten anybody in any election, isn't it?
Well, again, like I said, your questions has an undertone, and they have an underline. You have the reason why you say this. Joseph Boakai did not run for any position in the C when he was in the CPP. He didn't run to become senator of Lofa County. Neither did he run to become senator of Mosbara County. So when you say Joseph Boakai has not beaten anyone, of course Joseph Boakai has not beaten anyone. Okay, we don't want to take anything away from Henry Costa. We employ him. We know what he can bring to the table. We know what he brought to the table. But the idea that Benina Ure is Joseph Boakai's uncle who can support Joseph Boakai.
Point in the election process, would you rather have Costa, or you can do away with him and you'll be okay?
I would rather have Anthony C, Jimmy Eastman, Pat Moore. I would rather have everyone.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Mr. Pamo, let me come to you here. These things that they are saying, especially one Telia said that the train has lost a sense of direction and that she will not be a bondage to somebody's bad choices and decisions. Those were words directly at JNB.
Yes.
Should she be taken serious? Is she right to say these things? Did she actually receive significant
Well, I mean, it's coming from the horse's mouth. This was the head of the JNB tag team, right? So before there was a rescue train, there was a tag team. And these were the people that actually began whatever forward movement that JNB claims to have right now. They were the ones that were putting things together, organizing financiers. We saw the picture with JNB on the private jet, going wherever. We heard the meetings about the 30 million here and the 30,000 there and all that. So now if this individual who basically ran this machinery can come out now today and make such a statement, indeed, it weighs heavily. It weighs heavily on the leadership ability of Joseph Boakai. It weighs heavily on how, if he were to win, how he will govern. It weighs heavily on what seems to be habitual of Joseph Boakai to be a user. And I can tell you right now, there are people in that camp right now that they are looking at each other and wondering who will be next. Who is going to be dropped off that train next?
And Talia, things that she say, are these things reaching the greater number of the voters? The Unity Party continue to say the Liberian people are resolved. Does what Costa says, does what Benina Ure said, or what Talia Ure say matter to the Liberian people? Unity Party said the people are resolved. Don't you think the people are actually resolved here to electing JNB?
There ain't nobody resolved to do anything. Okay, the people are resolved in Lofa and Jala beat them. Everybody remember this? I don't understand why people are coming for these things. Going into that senatorial election, everybody agreed that Lofa was resolved and that UP was going to carry the day. The only question was by what margin? When the numbers started to come in, it told a different story. Look, there are hundreds of thousands of Liberians out there who have not made up their mind, who have a certain feeling about UP. They know UP. They had UP for 12 years. They remember the double dealing, the backstabbing, all this, the same thing you're seeing right now. We remember that from UP for 12 years. And then somebody come on and say, oh, we are a new UP, we are a different UP. But then we start to see the same thing. It reminds people, it gives them the flashback that UP has not changed. It is the same UP, and they're going to come back and do the same things again. And so people are having a very, very huge effect. It might not be in Foya, but across the country, the Nimba, the Bong, the Margibi, the Cape Mount, all these people, the Bastard River says, people remember UP. And it is having a profound effect that Henry Costa the man that laid down for Joseph Boakai to walk on top of, is now standing up and saying, my people have been sorry, I made a mistake. The man is now who I thought he was. It does have a profound effect indeed.
Mr. Anthony Gay, what we're now hearing is that the Unity Party is a user. Joseph Boakai is a user. Joseph Boakai uses people to get what he wants, and then when he does not have use for you anymore, he dumps you. What I see here is that the individuals are the one leaving because they didn't get what they wanted. It is not Boakai that is telling them leave. It is not a Unity Party that's telling them leave. They are leaving because it's obvious they're not getting their way now. So to call the Unity Party and JNB user, how can you best explain that for it to fit the narrative that they are actually users?
So part of the reason why the CPP broke away was the Unity Party felt entitled. And today, when you go on Facebook from yesterday, day before yesterday, the UP people started attacking Costa. And one particular post, what name I will not call, said, in order to support a politician, you must make your intention known, right? Some of these intentions were never made known when they came to the CPP to begin with. So when they saw the success of the CPP, they were like, you know what? We can't stay here because we can't get what we want. Now, if anyone who is politically savvy will and believe within themselves they love JNB, but now attacking Costa, you are playing in a dangerous spot, and you're playing a game that you're going to lose. What do I mean by this? Henry Costa is now on the ballot, but the young man has his place in the Liberian politics. He goes behind his microphone and does what he does best. Guess what? It will have a huge impact on the JNB camp. Second thing, I think Evan alluded to that. That is the financial aspect that he was getting from the UA, both his daughter and the father. And today, that stigma is behind JNB. That his person that does not appreciate people for what they do for him. Dating back to 2017. The Rickman Road between him and Madame Salif. His own boss could not vouch for him. We have seen around the world where former president will go and support our VP. Saw Obama in the United States making the case for Joe Biden. You see around the world where a former president will vie for that VP and say, this person is carrying my legacy, right? But it was the complete contrary. A vice president of a nation that served for 12 years could not convince the country and only won his county and lost everywhere. And since 2017, 5+ years today, we can see that the Unity Party have not regained hostility across the nation, where they will come when they see a handful of people, Unity Party is doing well in Grand Gila County. Go see Unity Party headquarters. In River G, where's Unity Party headquarters? I mean, they will make noise and say, Unity Party gaining ground in the southeastern region. Myth. One thing they do very well is to say the Liberian people are resolved. They're not telling you the truth. You know what will tell all the truth? October will tell all the truth. You know what told all the truth? The last election, senatorial election in Lopa County, told us the truth. Today, we have Moneyback that will take some of that vote. We also have Cottiman that will take some of that vote. We also have the CDC factor that will take some of that vote. And the CPP will also take some of the vote. Are they going to win by 87% that they did in 2017? Absolutely not. Now, that comes to Maserado, where Mr. Cummings, with the ANC standing alone, came third in Maserado in 2017. Now we have the CPP factor. And we have a vice presidential pick also that is gaining momentum. How does the Unity Party spell that? Then you have a guy, head Henry Costa, like King, say whatever you want to say. Henry Costa broke some news that helped the Liberian people. One, noticeable one, the Senegalese deal. That these guys were coming to deplete our waters. And it turns out to be truth. Does he everything he said that is that 100%? No. They denied that the telemedicine thing was a horse. Then his son came out and said, yeah, our in that meeting, a clear validation of his claim that yes, indeed, there was a $30 million in play.
Mr. Gay, I want you to land on the responses that we are getting from JNB supporters and surrogates, even including the party, to these individuals that are jumping off the train. Those responses, the attacks from them, these are their former allies now that they are going after. Do you think they are doing a disservice to their team? Are they helping to derail the train? Are they setting up something that they may not be able to contain? Are they not focusing on the bigger picture here? What you think, how is this going to play out? Is it going to be a help to them, or is it going to hurt them at the end of the day? Because the individuals they are attacking, I'm not sure if they are running for anything. It is their guy.
Let me say this to you, Mr. Sierra. Politically speaking, it's not wise to attack Costa. If you love JNB, continue to campaign for JNB. Like Mr. Kamara always does on the show. And he did.
Why is not wise to attack Costa? Costa is the greatest attack that we can accurately say in.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Costa is not on the ballot. Why go after him? The voters not going to be casting.
He's going after Boakai, and they have to fight for their guy. Isn't that fair?
Look, Mr. Sierra.
Yes.
As a political strategist, I will advise, give them free advice.
Political strategist.
Right? I can tell you for a fact that when Henry Costa were attacking Mr. Cummings, we played smart. We played
I doubt it. You guys went after him.
No.
And
Anthony, don't advocate for cowardice. Don't advocate for it. Be a man.
The senior closest people to Mr. Cummings, because what we designed was what we knew Mr. Cummings didn't do anything.
I remember the favorite speech by Aloysius to the National Secretary General of the ANC when he referred to Ure and Costa, Henry Costa, puppet master Ure, brother. You remember that?
So let me say this to you. It was a specific incident. But what we're saying here right now, Costa spent a lot of money, did a lot of arrangement. We saw the private jet. We saw all of that. He didn't do that for the ANC, right? He didn't do that for the ANC. But like I said this, right now, only if Henry Costa goes behind his microphone and be on a Roof FM platform, the JNB team will be in serious trouble. Why? This young man spent 6 years investing in time, his resources, and everything behind these people. He didn't do that for ANC. If he come after them, they will pay the political price.
All right. And Jimmy, I'll come back to you, and I want us to discuss this. This strategy of going after those who have jumped off the rescue train, they have some secrets. They came close to this man, especially Costa, with that proximity that he had. He was like managing Joseph Boakai politically, where officials of the Unity Party were like laying back. And this is a man now they are attacking. When he returns fire, will it be good for Boakai? What is the better strategy here for JNB and his surrogates? How can they better handle these individuals who have left the train so that it can be a problem for them?
That's an interesting question. Definitely, if Costa goes after them, it will be damaging. And just like you say, he's been in close proximity to them. He supported them. He knows their secrets. And if he decides to reveal, who knows what he might say? He may say something that will shock all of us. Okay? So depending on the gravity of what his revelations would bear, or the atrocity, or if they're atrocious enough to make voters no longer want to support JNB, then it would be a very significant blow. But Costa, because of his flip-flopping, 1 minute he's on way out, the next minute he's not. 1 minute he's with the CPP, the next minute he's not. 1 minute he's with Boakai, the next minute he's not. People, I don't know if people get weary, of that sort of behavior. People like consistency, and I think that is one of the reasons he wasn't successful, because you have to stand for something. Your integrity. The word integrity meaning that you stand for something. If you say yes, I say yes, and you stay on that point. You don't have a completely different opinion later on. So during the 2017 election, Boakai was a dead man walking. In this election, he's the best thing since sliced bread. From with my understanding, I think there's something just clinically wrong with being able to flip like that so completely, without justification. It is just, to me, it is just personal aggrandizement. You're doing it for something you can gain. But for the Liberian people, you said his man was not fit, and now all of a sudden he is, and he's 5 years older. I don't. For me, I'm weary, but perhaps I've gotten to know that Liberian people think differently. Or people on the ground, I should say.
Mr. Sia, if you would give me 20 seconds, please. I don't want to lose my train of thought here, please, if you allow me.
Yeah,
I want to bring our our attention back to Amin Moda. Remember when Unity Party was in financial crisis? They took this hotelier who has hotel and resorts all over the country as a businessman. They used him. He revived that political party. He secured them a new headquarters. He infused some cash and some stability into the party. What happened in Lofa County when they said they couldn't pay poor members? Joseph Boakai took that as a personal affront. That Amin Moda didn't spend his personal money to pay poor workers. And subsequently, he took away his support for him.
Did Boakai say that or reacted?
Look, Mr. Sia, we are in a political space. We watch these things, right? Boakai took away his support from this guy.
I think Boakai is intelligent enough, all right, to get angry that somebody did not spend their personal money on a political institution. I think Boakai is intelligent enough to do so. Don't you think so?
Right. Mr. Sia, we know how politics work in Liberia. We're Liberians, right? We don't have political institution where you have due-paying members who are wholly and
I agree. So in most cases, the political leader pays the bill and not the political.
There you go. That's the point I'm getting to. You see, you got there before I got there. Boakai didn't take his own personal money to pay for, to infuse into the party. You'll see this with Bromsky, you might see it with Cummings. He expected his chairman at the time to do it because he doesn't want to spend his own money. That's the point I'm making is to show you that he's a user. He refused to spend his own money, claiming that he's in poverty, he's broke, and expected this guy, who is a businessman, a wealthy businessman, to spend his own money. So it was a surprise to Boakai to hear that the poor workers in Lofa County was not being paid. And he took his support away from that guy and pulled a topic in there. And people saw that as a betrayal. Even the same thing with Mo Ali, who is now in the Boakai's lapdog. So Boakai is a user. He don't want to spend any money. He don't spend his own dime on his own political party. Expects other people in the party to spend money to finance the party. And when things don't go right, he takes away his support from them. I wanted to point that out. You got there before me.
It means that Boakai is somehow a political magnet here, or in his political institution, because he doesn't have money, and people are coming to foot the bills. Now, if you contrast it with, let's say, the U.S. politics, I don't think the political candidates or the presidential candidates are spending their money. Individuals who support the parties and the institution come and bring the money. That might be the case. It was the case with Darius DeLong, and he won because the people wanted him anyway. Don't you think this is the case with Boakai here? And it doesn't matter what Costa says at this time, because here's the thing, though. I want for you to conclude with it. What was not said about George Weah from this Costa and many others against President Weah? The Liberian people were resolved The United Party is telling us the Liberian people are resolved now, just as they were resolved with Georgia, and nothing you say or do will stop them from electing Joseph Boakai. Don't you think this is what there is?
Thank you. Before I even get to that point, for those of us with discernment, we can see through these things. The point that I'm making is Liberian politics is different from U.S. politics. I made that point, earlier. In Liberia, we know that it's usually a one-man show. Communists would never go to somebody like a Ure or Ami Modad to go support him financially because he's well endowed financially. We know most political parties, when Brumskin was there, he was the main man. Most political parties in Liberia, in our Liberian politics, is one man at the top who has all the money and the influence, who can carry his party as far as he's capable of. This point about, this whole perception that the Liberian people is resolved is only to play to the herd mentality. I think Mr. Eastman has said this before, and I will piggyback off of that. This mentality that people perceive that somebody is popular, well, that they may not going to win anyway. Everybody said they may going to win, so I might as well vote for him. That's the politics that United Party is trying to play, and we are smart enough to see through that. The reality is you can't lie your way through it. They say fake it till you make it. Act as if you're popular. Act as if everybody loves you.
Doesn't that work in Liberia, Evans? Doesn't that work in Liberia?
No, it only works with George. Somebody like George Weah, who was popular, way more popular than Boakai is in 2005, and he lost the election. And one of the reasons he lost that election was somebody like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf outsmarted him. Somebody like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had more political, international influence than George Weah. So when you're talking politics, you can't only talk about quote unquote popularity and people are resolved. That's why money is important. That's why you see some of us we're sticking on this money issue, because it's logistics. You need people to travel all over the country. You need to convince some people, not only through rhetoric, but sometimes through hard cash. And Joseph Boakai is lacking that right now. That's the point we're making.
Thank you. Let me pivot on the other side. Mr. Padmo, quickly, if you have something in mind, you can bring it, but this is my question. The ANC, the CPP, politically speaking, these individuals jumping off the train, does that present any opportunity for you? Costa is a political free agent. We can say about Telia. Are there opportunities here for you, the CPP, to capitalize and deploy these people against their former ally, and that may play well? What are you thinking about this? Is this something that is a given for you?
No, unfortunately, sorry. The opportunity there for the CPP is just to point out the lack of leadership that Joseph Boakai has. Do we intend to recruit any of these people onto our side? No. Look, we are a big tent. If people want to come in and join, they are all welcome. But for us to go out and try to recruit former people just to launch some sort of propaganda machinery, no, that we are focused. We are focused. We are very, very focused right now on campaigning.
I thought you said you're getting a big tent.
No.
All Liberians are welcome. Are they not Liberians?
Well, you see, when you welcome people and you recruit people are two different things.
All right.
Okay? We have our arms open. We are not stopping anybody from coming in. We have, that's one thing. But for us to actually go out and spend the energy, the time to recruit somebody based on just being able to unleash them for propaganda reasons, no, we are not spending time on that.
I don't think that is bad politics. It's effective.
Well, that what some people might say, but for us, we believe the most effective politics is actually continuing to make our case with the Liberian people. That, for us, we believe that is our most effective politics right there. Because look, we still have 70 more days to go. You spend time, recruit people to come, and then 30 days from now, for some other reason, they jump off your train and go to no. Then you find yourself into political or drama that you didn't even need in the first place. Okay, so like I said, we have an open tent. We welcome everybody. Okay, but for us to actually recruit, no, we will not be spending time, energy.
I mean, how good is a welcome when you welcome me in your house and you don't give me a seat at the table? What kind of welcome is that? That's why you are saying, well, we'll welcome you, but to be in the background. Do you think that individual will feel or welcome enough, especially when they have some political capital and when they are a player in the game? Why would you not want to have them at the table to increase your strength?
Here's the thing. To have a seat at the table is an earned seat. Okay, you have to earn that seat. There are people who have been there who have earned that seat. They've shown their integrity. They've shown their loyalty to the Liberian people. They've shown their agreement to our policy and our platform. Those people have earned their seat at that table. For you to come and push people aside to take a seat because you have political clout, no, that is not the machinery.
I mean, you have said, if you have succeeded in getting Jeremiah Kun, we know for a fact that you make effort. If you were successful to have gotten Jeremiah Kun as your will you be able to say he earned it? You went recruiting. So to say here and be telling us that, well, you don't recruit people, I mean, I don't know.
They vetted Kun. They didn't recruit him. They vetted him.
I'm not going to recruit. We're not going to spend time to recruit.
You wanted him. It's a choice of words here, guys.
Here's the thing. When it comes to Jeremiah Kun, let me explain this thing to you guys about Jeremiah Kun before I take leave. Let me explain this thing about Jeremiah Kun. Let's explain it about Yombi Kanga Lawrence. You have to understand something. Look, we were going through a vetting process.
Okay.
Yeah. Jeremiah was never chosen as Alexander Cummings VP. He was invited to enter a vetting process. In order to have
that means there was a possibility of a consideration. There was a possibility of a consideration.
Look,
but a consideration doesn't mean it's a pick.
It's not a choice. We're going through a process. He was invited to join that process. He chose not to join the process. No, just because you bring somebody in to consider them, it doesn't mean you have made a choice. You have to consider them. You have to give them the opportunity. Now, what you find out in the vetting process will determine whether you choose that person or not. He was never a choice of CPP. He was only invited to be part of the vetting process. That's it.
All right, I disagree, but I'll take that. Mr. Ali, let me come to you here quickly. You have
gentlemen, please let me just I have to let me apologize.
Please,
I have a conflicting schedule, so I have to take my leave. I wish I could finish up with you guys. Very interesting topic, but I have to go. But I trust my compatriot Anthony Gay will definitely carry the load, and he will present our case. Thank you guys so much. Have a great Sunday. I will be watching. I just won't be participating.
Thank you.
We'll deal with Anthony Gay absent Mr. Palmer. We'll deal with
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. We appreciate your contribution. Mr. Ali Kamara, let me give you the opportunity to play your defense. You are good at, my friend. Leadership. You know, when you are a captain of a team, for those of us who play this football, my son is a great player. I played the game, you know. When a team is not doing well, when things are falling apart, they blame the coach. JNB is the conductor here. And these soldiers are jumping off this rescue train. Does he share any responsibility here? In football, we hold the coach responsible. In politics, we will hold the president accountable or responsible. You know, at the political party level, we'll hold the chairman of the party responsible. How is Joseph Boakai, you know, in any way not sharing any responsibility? He is a captain of this train. He's the conductor. and his teammates are just falling off and jumping ship. I think he's He's laughing.
You know, Joseph Boakai is not a party chairman. You should supposed to know that. Let's just clarify something. How do they get? I know your problem. He's
good at deflecting. He understands English well. He understood my question. Leader taking responsibility, but he's deflecting. Go ahead, Ali. You are good.
You guys are making me laugh. He said the captain, you will hold a captain responsible. I thought you would have said you will hold a team president responsible. But the captain is not a president of the team. But let me just say this. Let's clarify certain things. You know, some of the misinformation. When Mr. Morris says that somebody, whatever, I will not go into all that stuff. Okay, it doesn't add up. but that the people were not paid because Joseph Boakai didn't want to pay money from his pocket. First of all, Galapai had a campaign team in Lovar County. $10,000 was given to Galapai Kotime for his campaign team for poor washers, even though the requested amount was $9,000. Uncle Joe said they should add extra $1,000 for just in case. $10,000 were given to the campaign squad of Galapai Kotime. So to just be making this kind of statement, you gotta know the truth to speak. To say, oh, better now you got money, you've been supporting Joe Boakai, you've been doing this, you've been doing that. When was the last time you spoke with Joe Boakai and Joe Boakai told you that better now you've been supporting him, been feeding him? When?
He said he lives alone.
Again. I just did it, man.
You know, so to just be making these vague statements that you don't have the evidence, you don't have the facts. You understand what I'm saying? So look, to answer your question, actually, political parties are not structured like football clubs, like football teams. All right. In the political party, the chairman is a head. The chairman of the party is the head of the party. He runs the day-to-day activity of the party. All of those campaign people you see, they'll rescue this and rescue that. They all work in direct collaboration with the chairman. Consultation is done also with the party standard bearer. But remember, there's an executive committee and there's a chairman of the party. Those people are responsible for the administrative wing of the party, not the political leader. I want us to clarify certain things here.
Alio, are you serious?
I can't believe what I'm hearing myself.
Are you really serious?
Because you guys don't know what I'm talking, so you can't believe it. That way you know it. You can't believe it.
Mr. Ali, you're the smartest man I ever lived.
The standard bearer.
Let me make things clear to you here, my friend. I will give you the opportunity to respond. Mr. Boakai is running for president, and he has a team of individuals supporting him. He is in charge of his quest to become president. Individuals came on board. Some of them because they felt they believe in him or because of their political interest. He has been in charge or should have been in charge here. These individuals who vow support for him, campaign for him, attack other political leaders for him, are jumping ship today because they feel that they have been unfairly treated. And you say Joseph Boakai shared no responsibility as a leader. And that's
let me respond. Let me respond to you. Let me respond to you.
Please.
The Unity Party is structured in a way that things goes through the rank and file. Anything about administration goes through the party chairman and the secretary general. Remember one thing. Most of the people you are talking about who supports Joseph Boakai are not members of the Unity Party. And therefore, Joseph Boakai cannot make unilateral decisions. Now, let's talk about
and that is why Joseph Boakai shares a responsibility. You are right. These people have not been part and parcel of the Unity Party as political party members. They came on board to support Joseph Boakai in the case of.
But I'm trying to explain to you.
In the case of Costa.
I'm trying to explain to you, but you're set in your ways.
They were on Boakai's side, not necessarily the Unity Party.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Even
1 minute.
Because of Boakai's behavior, and you say,
listen, 1 minute. You've already drawn a conclusion, so it doesn't matter what I tell you. But what I'm trying to make you understand here is, it doesn't matter in certain cases what Boakai wants. Okay, it does not matter if the party executive committee doesn't agree on certain things. Boakai cannot do it. Now, with the issue, let's just clarify a certain thing here. People say, "Oh, this other person, the other person." Amin Muda, Mo Ali, they went to an open elections in Banga. It was open. All the networks were there. I believe Focus on Liberia were there. They were defeated. Then Joseph Boakai is responsible for that. Henry Costa wants to be vice president. Joseph Boakai said, no, you cannot be vice president. Henry Costa leaves. You say Joseph Boakai is responsible for that. Benin Nayure wants a collaboration when he has no members. He wants a collaboration that gave him equal share of what happens in 2023. And Joe Boakai say, I am not forming a fashion government, and therefore I'm not signing such an agreement. But Benin Nayure leaves. He said Joseph Boakai fought. Why can't someone have the right to everybody have the right to be with a group or to disassociate from a group? Why do I have to be responsible for the fact that Anthony say don't want to be with me anymore?
Ali, in summary, the individuals are saying Joseph Boakai made a commitment with us. He made political promises with us. We have some forms of agreement. Like you said, hey, this man asked me to go and fund DAL. And he abandoned it. I went to Alari Tuba. And then we spent our money, we created it. And then when he realized that there was no threat to him, he abandoned it. All right.
Alari Tuba is with Joseph Boakai.
The ALP did not leave the Unity Party. Joseph Boakai and the Unity Party left us.
Anthony, for the sake of the audience, let's not waste the audience time. Alari Tuba is with Joseph Boakai. If Benin Nayure say he and Alari Tuba were disenfranchised, Alari Tuba is with Joseph Boakai. Alari Tuba is not making any comments whatsoever.
Costa is not with Boakai. Is not with Boakai.
Hold on 1 minute. You just said the message him and Alari Tuba. I am telling you, there is no political party or political organization in Liberia that will go to an election with all of their members intact without anybody leaving. What I want you to understand here is that even if Joseph Boakai wanted Henry Costa, okay,
so
which
you are saying Boakai did not did not contribute to any bad feeling, anything whatsoever that led these people to leave the ship, to jump off the rescue train.
What I am telling you is, one, they have the right to leave. What I am telling you is, two, Joseph Boakai as a standard bearer is given the constitutional authority to choose who he believes can better represent him as his vice running mate. That's the second point. So if Joseph Boakai makes those decisions that are given to him on the basis of law and somebody decides to leave, right? You want Joseph Boakai to be responsible. But look at this. I want you to get this before you may get smarter in. Look at this. All you was saying Joseph Boakai was a puppet again to Benin Nayure. Whatever Benin Nayure said or what Joseph Boakai was going to do. Then you found out that Joseph Boakai is not who you thought he was. He doesn't just do what anybody say. They say again, Joseph Boakai was on Henry Costa was pushing Joseph Boakai around. Henry Costa carrying the paper this place, that place. I kept telling some of you on social media, you do not know Joseph Boakai. But let me just say this. As a journalist, you must adopt the system of investigation. You hear one side of the story. You have not put yourself in a position of credibility to a point where the other side will be open to you to tell you what's going on their side. You take one side of the story, and then that's the Holy Bible, and that's a fact, and that's the truth. Somebody also said that a Unity Party is attacking Henry Costa. What do you mean Unity Party is attacking Henry Costa? If D-Flow attack Henry Costa, that is not the Unity Party, for God's sake. Have you heard of the spokesman of the campaign of the Unity Party attack Henry Costa? Have you heard the rescue team attack Henry Costa? So how can we sit here and conclude that the Unity Party is attacking Henry Costa?
The vice chair of political affairs, USA Canada, Costa.
Alio,
forget that thing, man.
Alio, the question I asked earlier was his supporters and surrogates
USA Canada attack Costa.
Yeah, his supporters are free. We have a democratic society. What we are saying is the Unity Party, what action the Unity Party takes is what we go after. Now what Alio said to Henry Costa.
And that was my question. You are bringing Unity Party as an institution attacking him, all right? And that was not my question. Folks, in cyberspace, you are watching a special edition of Our Politics with me, Anthony Sear, your host. The topic for today, can a JNB presidential train be derailed, or will it have a safe landing. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be focusing on the conductor of this train, Joseph Boakai. Is he excellent head? Is he in charge? Does he have issues that might prevent him from landing the train safely at the executive mansion again as it happened in 2017? Or is he well prepared, like the Unity Party folks and their surrogates would say, the Liberian people are resolved? A short break and we will be right back.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jar.
Indeed, fellow Liberians, God gave us this country, and that is why if others are responsibility to find a leader who will lead us to the promised land, would that be Joseph Boakai, who is the conductor of the rescue train headed to the executive mansion, where it have a safe landing, or where it experience wreckage along the way, or where it be derailed by things that have been thrown as stumbling block at this time. Folks, we will be right back. All right, folks, we are back with you. Is the conductor Joseph Boakai in charge? Others have jumped off the rescue train. Why those people are jumping off? Some people are jumping on board. One person is Spring Johnson, another Jeremiah Bankong, and many others have jumped on board the train. Well, does that say more about the conductor Joseph Boakai being in charge of this train? Or these people that are jumping on board the train, are they coming with SS baggage that the Spring Johnson, the Jeremiah Cohn, and many others we may not know? Is Joseph Boakai conducting the train well, and will he have a safe landing? Or will the issue of money that people continue to talk about be a problem? Costa said he had money, he's not on board. Ure is saying we were paying the bill, he has left. Well, Teller Ure might have been paying some bills, so I'm not sure of that, but she was the head of the Joseph Boakai tag team, a tactical political ministerial that said they had pulled together to have Boakai sail into the promised land. All these things have been taken away. Are these things stumbling blocks to the train landing? Boakai is in charge here. Gentlemen, let's start with let's look at the conductor himself. Jimmy.
Yeah.
Boakai is in charge here. Is he conducting this train well? Many things have been true.
Let me give another viewpoint before I get answer the question.
Right.
This election is really a referendum on the current administration.
Yep.
It's going to be a referendum on how well administration has performed. Now, what people will be looking for is, can we get a replacement that will do good for us? So they're going to be, if they decide that no, we need to go in a different direction, they're going to be looking for a good replacement. So it is up to the candidates to convince Liberian people, look, I'm going to turn your life around. I'm going to make it better for you. They have, the Liberian people have to believe that. I've been in Liberia just a couple of months ago. I did notice that people were considering Boakai more than before. And I believe a couple of reasons why. One, they were dissatisfied with their lives right now. And two, UP's been organized. They're a little more organized than the other group. They've been a party around a long time. And they even had the helm. So, and they look at an old man like Boakai, who's been in administration. They're looking at some stability there that they can look to, whereas they say Cummings is a new one and all these other new Gongo just coming on the scene. And that is why people are gravitating to Boakai, only because they have no real other option. So he is just a default. I don't look at him, his whole candidacy as something that will promising for the future. But because Liberians are in a tight spot between a rock and a hard place, they're giving him some credit. But what his decisions have been are what have been crippling him. I believe had he kept the CPP together, he would have sailed into this thing easily. But he's been making all kinds of decisions, betraying people, using people. And that's why he's getting people, these detractors. But is it the everyday Liberian who listening to this? And we over here, I believe we can consider us the intelligentsia. We're more educated. We have access to multimedia or day in and day out. People don't have that. We listen to the radio. So
Jimmy,
I think our view won't be a typical Liberian view. Liberian view will be, I'm hungry right now, and I don't want to be hungry. I want a job. I want my children to go to school. I want to have clothes on my shoes on my feet. I need something to change here, So they may just vote for whoever has convinced them that they would change their lives.
So, I was calling your attention.
Yeah,
I was calling your attention. They're saying that, I continue to come back to it. They're saying that Boakai and the Unity Party, losing orders. Don't you think the individuals are themselves using themselves and now Unity Party and Joseph Boakai? Because they make a decision to be on board and they made a decision to leave at the point they felt that they no longer needed to be there. How? I want a justification and explanation that shows that Boakai and the Unity Party actually used them. I'm prepared to make a debate that they have used themselves yet.
Yeah, exactly. You're perfectly right. They just it's a lot of guesswork. If you look at Weah was very popular. He's a celebrity, and they had hopes that he would be different. But for Boakai, it's not popularity now. It is really desperation. That's how I see the votes look today, that people are going to vote out of desperation because of things getting bad, And when you pass through the streets, you hear it a lot. The people are disappointed, But they haven't, I don't think they're really evaluating the individual because
thank you.
Boakai is a mature man, and he's never been all that dynamic before. He's held several administrative positions And really, by now, I would have said he established himself as a powerful force in Liberia because he's been on the scene so long. Somebody like, it reminds me of Kekua Poto. You know how Kekua Poto, he was there. He was a political heavyweight. But with him, it's not been the same. You know, and they're gonna be taking a stab in the dark now. President Kuhn is a different thing.
Why are you continuing to call this man President Kuhn, Jimmy?
Because when you vote for Boakai, you vote for President Kuhn.
All right, Jimmy, let's leave it there for now. Let me read the question. Hey, folks, in cyberspace at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Focus on Liberia Independent Days program starts right here. And Focus on Liberia has selected Cole Formula as our speaker for today. She will give the oration today, and you don't want to miss it. 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You do not want to miss it. This Liberian woman has been researching Liberian history, and she will be speaking on a profound topic. You do not want to miss it. Mr. Gay, we are talking about the conductor of the rescue train.
Yeah.
Does he have it to not derail this train again? Others are saying, here are the issues that might not allow this conductor to have a safe landing. Health issue. Some people say in Minnesota for that. Some people say he's dead.
You're the right man.
All right. These are the things that we are hearing, right? He does not have money. We hear the stories of going to Uri, other people giving him money. He even said admitted he does not have money, but he has people, right? And so are these things enough to undermine the success of this conductor and decision that he's made? The bringing of Prince Johnson close to him, Jeremiah Cohn, and other decisions are promising other people and then not going through with them, and now they are disappointed and they've left. So is the conductor conducting this train well, to have a safe landing, or he might be a problem to himself here?
First of all, when the conductor comes to the United States, a former vice president of the Republic of Liberia who served for 12 years is meeting with a small town mayor, a small state senator, not even the U.S. senator or the U.S. representative.
Maybe he believes in small government, local government.
Hold on. Let's start right ago. You cannot do business, especially our country, without having international influence. I mean, when you get into office, how will you pay your employee? Where the money will come from to pay for all your developmental project that you have on your platform? You're dealing with Prince Johnson that have been sanctioned by the United States when they told you, do not do business with this guy. I mean, you are putting Liberia in the position to fail from the get-go.
Sound like a broken record.
Right? So how are you going to move the country forward? Another thing, each and every day, there's a negative news coming from the Unity Party camp. And listen, for us in the CPP, we're excited because they said we were the trouble. Since they left, our trouble gone away. So who are the true troublemakers? It's these people. Another thing that the Liberian people are sick and tired with is a country or a political leader who does not have a clear path for the Liberian people. So yes, what they're doing. They're telling the Liberian people that, JNB is the option. JNB, the CDC flock you. 2017. Unmercifully.
ANC won.
So how can you be the Liberian people option? You came in and you never gave the people your true intention of being in the CPP. They handed you the CPP and under your leadership of the CPP, everything went scattered. You led the agriculture department in Liberia, and we cannot trace anything back up to this time. What
the question, man.
Remember, right? So the Unity Party has no hope for Liberia. Voting Unity Party is taking Liberia backwards. It's the past of Liberia. Right. Voting CDC is the present that the Liberian people are also angry with. So the future of Liberia.
Mr. Kamara, decorum, please.
Here's the reason why many of them are fighting against the CPP. They don't want change. They want to continue the old business as usual.
Thank you,
Do the
Mr.
same
Thank
thing. Refuse to change the country. Keep the people where they are. Do not give them opportunity. We will determine how they go to the market, how to determine, how to send their children to school. We will get a little hand out. They don't want the Liberian people to strike. They call the Liberian people lazy. Isn't it the same Liberian people today in the diaspora being the backbone of the Liberian economy?
Mr. Gay, thank you because of time.
In this country,
Respect your time, Anthony.
Giving opportunities. These people don't want the Liberian people to have the opportunity, and the ANC/CPP is bringing that opportunity to Liberia, that every Liberian will have the chance to strike.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gay. I'm trying to save time here because I have to get prepared for the Independent Days program.
No problem. You gave Aliyu and the other guy long time, so I was trying to catch up.
Mr. Aliyu Kamara, JNB is a conductor. He is the leader here. The last time I saw him conducting a train was when they went to Lofa County. They wanted that Senate seat. There was no money for pool washers. That train experienced complete derailment, my friend. It never landed, they never got the seat. The CDC derailed the train and took that seat. Now we are talking a presidential election that will require all the 73 districts in Liberia should be funded. People should campaign. You must have all the necessary tools. I mean, is this conductor in charge and prepared? Does he have all of the things that will be needed?
Anthony, do me a favor. Pay attention to etiquette if you want to be a journalist. Don't just be speaking from the top of your head. Speak from what you know.
That's not the whole, man.
You understand? When you sit down here and say what happened in Lofa, he never had money. Who told you that? I just told you that, my man. I just told you what was required was 9,000. They made 10,000 available. You stay.
Who made it available? JNB made it available.
Your mind is made that he doesn't have money. It doesn't matter what I say to you.
It is something that he just said. It's an established fact that he does not have.
It is an established fact. You know the party has said that in press conference.
Gentlemen, please. Aliyu is protected. I mean, I'll engage him as a whole. Gentlemen, please stop that. Go ahead, Aliyu.
It is an established fact. The Unity Party has said that through the Unity Party campaign. The secretary of the party have made a statement. They have put out invoices to indicate that it wasn't the issue of money. It was just the issue of fraud. But yet, the decision on your part is made that whatever happened in Nimba Joseph Boakai was a fault. I can't fix that.
You said that you want me, allow me here. You said I should be investigative. So that is why I'm going beyond what Unity Party wants us to believe. I've gone beyond that. They issued, my friend, money was part of the problem. They never deployed pool washers. They never protected their votes. These are the truth. I have investigated, my friend.
Your investigation is so wrong. The issue was not that there were no pool washers. The pool washers were there. They complained that they never got their money. So again, your investigation was totally off. The question about whether Joseph Boakai is ready, that question again is redundant. And the reason why that question is redundant is because by all indication, by all measure, Joseph Boakai is the most qualified in the race. The only people
qualified and not ready.
The only people
qualified and not ready, Aliyu.
The only people who will oppose this is the ANC. It's only the ANC. The CDC would talk, but we know it's political talk. But the CDC is fully cognizant that Joseph Boakai is the most qualified in this competition. Now the argument is, oh, is he healthy? Is he this? Is he that? Let me tell you something. Just recently, a lawmaker passed away. He wasn't even old. What people focus, we want to focus on real issues here.
Isn't that the reason why we should be concerned?
When ANC come up here, we want them to tell us how can they move this country forward. What makes them think they're better than the Unity Party? We're talking policies. No, they don't want that. They want to talk about Joseph Boakai money. Joseph Boakai don't have money. Joseph Boakai is sick. Joseph Boakai going to do bypass surgery. These are their campaign. And we understand where this thing is coming from. This is the Ellen Johnson selling syndicate. We know what they need to. They can't win. They're not going to win one single county. But they argue that Joseph Boakai only won one county. The man who won one county and you have never won a single county, who is better? So they take their debate to a whole new level. They try to distract us from the real issue. But what we can tell you is we're not imagining anything here. This is not a state of fairy tale. We know we are sitting comfortably. We're not debating
them. Not paying attention to, Mr. Kamara. Why are you not paying attention to?
Yeah, but to Aliu, allow me to your point.
Jimmy, hold on.
Even though he won,
Jimmy, hold on, please, Jimmy. Aliu, in all fairness, in all reality, the election is more than likely, if it will go to the second round, will be between Boakai and Weah. And we saw, you admitted that he only won one county in the second round. All right, and we are humiliated him. So this might be a repeat. Is he prepared to win more than one county this time? Given the variables are different now. That's what I'm asking you.
Let me explain to you.
Other people.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you, Anthony, because your questions can be loaded. And you know what loaded me when you're talking academic writing. Let me explain to you. In 2017, George Weah had not performed. He had not been tested. Mm-hmm. He had not shown the Liberian people what he was capable of. Mm-hmm. In 2023, George Weah has a record that he is running on. Mm-hmm. I know you and I don't live in Liberia.
And coming is stronger.
But because of the way things are open today, can you, Anthony, tell me that the same scenario in 2017 will exactly repeat itself in 2023 if you're asking me that question?
Not exactly.
What has happened?
Not exactly, but in so many different forms. And whether or not those forms are in Boakai's favor, that way I'm not sure, and that's what I'm asking.
According to you, if the both of them are likely to go to the second round, who will benefit then? Will it be George Weah or will it be Joseph Boakai?
And you are saying Joseph Boakai.
Joseph Boakai.
And I'm trying to
see you gotta give me my chance on the topic.
Yeah, Anthony, please stop that. And I'm trying to see, in the likely case where Boakai and Weah should go to the second round again, are there things that are more in Boakai's favor to win, given the opposition division and all that? But we have to leave it there. We have to leave it there, Ali, because of time.
No, but the answer is yes.
Mr. Morris,
let me give my chance.
I will appeal to you because we have less than 15 minutes to the program. This is a very important program. Is the conductor in charge here and prepared to have a safe learning, or this is not going too well for him? Is he going to do it?
The simple answer is no. He's not going to do it. And the reason I'm saying that is because outside of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf putting Joseph Boakai on her back and taking him to the vice presidency, he has never won any political position in Liberia. Never. After Ellen Johnson Sirleaf left Joseph Boakai alone as a political institution, I can't remember the last time United Party won a political seat.
Nope.
Unless apart from when it was a part of the CPP. All of the people that you have in his political party, Ami Moda, the new chairman now, they've never won political seats alone. So Joseph Boakai is a man who, like Mr. Kamara was trying to do, take away any kind of blame from him because he's not the party chairman, but he's supposed to be the political leader who's supposed to lead them politically. Joseph Boakai is not a charismatic man. We know that. Popularity and fame are two different things. People know he's popular because he was a vice president of the entire country. When children say who the president is, Joseph Sirleaf, who a vice president, Joseph Boakai, that don't mean those people like him. George Weah is famous. Fame means people like you. They know you and they like you. Popularity means people know you. So you can be popular, they don't mean people like you. So my point here is Joseph Boakai don't have the intellectual, he don't have the political capacity to drive this train to the desired destination. He's never done it. The people around here have never proven that they can do it. They're not going to be able to do it again. It's not going to be a landslide like 2017. Definitely not. Joseph Boakai is going to win a lot more votes than he did in 2017. But George Weah is going to pull it off. Definitely believe that.
Gentlemen, thank you. And thank you so very much. Because of time, to our viewers, we want to say thank you for staying with us throughout the broadcast. I want to remind you at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Focus on Liberia is having a virtual Independent Day celebration program, and Carl Famada is our speaker. She will give the oration today, and you do not want to miss it. It's starting in 15 minutes, and we promise that we will start on time. Let's get the closing going here. Mr. Jimmy Eastman, your closing. How? And I'm giving each of you 30 seconds to close.
Oh, wow.
Can the JNB presidential...
Okay. As I will maintain,
will it be derailed?
That this is a referendum on the WEA administration. And some people, because people are desperate, they are looking for anything. Now, Boakai, being a UP partisan and being around a UP, has some old popularity that he can depend on. Whereas Cummings, the CPP, they've been getting a start, but all the other ones are kind of still newer. So the UP has that legacy thing that they can leverage. But my thing, I believe what Elvis is saying. I don't see how dynamic Boakai himself could be, because he has not demonstrated that. He's an administrator. If you want to put somebody, to in charge of a corporation, he will make sure it doesn't break down. He will try to. But when you want to create something new, when you need to build, it's different than maintaining. And this is why Liberia hasn't gone anywhere, because now we have to build. It's easy to tear down.
Thank you, Jimmy.
It's easy to maintain, but to actually build, I don't see him being able to build. However, President Kuhn may be a different story.
Thank you, Jimmy. And I don't like your President Kuhn thing. I don't know where you're going with that. Mr. Anthony Gay, please, gentlemen, 30 seconds. We have a major program coming in. Your closing. Will this train be derailed, or will it have a safe landing on Boakai's watch?
The train will be derailed. I mean, Boakai does not have the political mechanism to move our country anywhere further. Since 2017, the Unity Party have yet to win a seat on her own. They have failed on multiple fronts, except with the collaboration of the CPP. The CPP is the alternative to the Liberian circumstances. It's the only political party that have a clear roadmap, robust fiber-optic connectivity throughout the 11th breadth of Liberia, creating jobs, giving Liberian the opportunity for every Liberian to have a chance to have border rights. Mr. Cummings is the best person to handle the economy of Liberia than any other political candidate in the race. So I want to thank you for having me here. Thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to another debate anytime soon. Thank you.
Mr. Elvis Morris, will they train derail, or will it have a safe landing with Boakai as the conductor?
Look, Mr. Sear, if you're a father and you know your child is irresponsible, you don't give him a car to drive. You don't put heavy responsibility on his shoulder. Joseph Boakai has shown to be irresponsible with his own personal finances. This man made over $3 million in 12 years, and he's crying poverty today. He depends on other people to pay his bills, other people to buy plane tickets for him, and they're rubbing it in his face that as an elderly state man, he can't take care of himself financially. So can that man even drive a train? Will he have enough money to even put diesel in the train to carry him to his destination? He's going to depend on other people. And there's an old adage, if you want something done right, you must do it yourself. Joseph Boakai can't do it himself. He depends on other people far too much, and they will let him down at the end of the day. The train will not reach that destination. They will run out of fuel before they get there. I will leave it there. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Mr. Alio, you get the last word this time because you have been playing defense. Go ahead.
Yes, we come from a society where we are raised to respect. But then by our utterances, people can know how we were raised. Let me just say this to you in clean language. When somebody says Joseph Boakai has not won anything, saying blah, 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 what have they won? Let's find out. When somebody says Joseph Boakai only won one county, how many counties did they win? When somebody talk about building new, who in the race have built anything new? Ellis Cummings, he's never built anything new. He worked for an established entity. All right? Joseph Boakai built LPMC when it was nothing to a level of exporting commodities out of Liberia. So we have the record. But Anthony CA, I like the way I can put fire on you. I like the way I can heat you up. I enjoy it.
That's not true. LPMC wasn't established by him.
I do it. The closing. So if anybody has built anything in Liberia among the opposition, it's only Joseph Boakai. You can't name anybody else that will have built anything. Everybody that worked for somebody, Joseph Boakai have built things. So look, I thank you guys. Thank you, Mr. Eastman. I know you will not agree with me, but you realize the fact that Joseph Boakai is the most popular, he's the most known, and you were in the streets of Monrovia. It's either Joseph Boakai or it's George Weah. So Ellis Cummings people can cry all they want, we'll only laugh at them. We know they're nowhere. And we don't care about their CPP, whether it broke, whether it didn't break, what happened to that CPP is behind us. We don't care how they're thinking about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And on that note, the song that says we are all Liberians, closes the broadcast right now. Thank you for watching. Our Independent Day program starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Time in about 10 minutes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to start that program. Bye-bye.
We are Liberians.